I mean, you've been very respectful of your opponents. Most of your opponents have been very respectful of you. How do you feel when you see Henry saying things like he's gonna dominate you, he's the key to beating you? I mean,
Last 7 people said the exact same thing. No different. I would say Dotson had way better words of war than he did. So, like I said, guys, I think it's funny everybody's jumping on that, trash talking banner. And at the same time, with Cruz and Faber, Rockhold, Weidman, DC, Jones, there's true animosity there. Claudia Gondel, it's like, dude, my father Dotson's like, dude, congratulations on being a father, and going home, goodbye. So I'm never attached to the outcome of my fights. We were like, oh man, what are you gonna do if you lose? Same shit I would have done if I would have won. Go home, take care of my family, and that's how life goes. And a lot of people, they might not like it, but that's the truth. That's what happens. When I beat my opponents, I go home, put the checks in the bank, start changing diapers, and keep on training.
Does this type of opponent excite you more than others just because of his Olympic pedigree? People will probably reference that a lot of times, leading up to the fight.
Yeah, everybody's got a resume in this sport. It's true. Yeah, the gold medal is nice. It's just another resume. But at the same time, I fought a man who was on EPO, a 2-time world sumo kickboxing champion. I fought men who have way better accomplishment in the sport of mixed martial arts than a gold medal. I didn't even know he was a gold medal, so you guys told me. I didn't watch the Olympics. So, like I said, everybody has a resume in this sport, but it's just another fresh opponent, and I'm excited to get in there and fight again.
And what are your thoughts on some of his past performances? He's gone to a decision a lot of times. He's not really, setting the world on fire in terms of finishing fights. What are your thoughts on some of his tenure in the UFC so far?
Yeah, I mean, he's undefeated in the UFC, so you got to. I respect all my opponents. He's undefeated in his mixed martial arts career, and he's gone the distance with every single opponent in there. 2 of the guys are no longer with the UFC, and but yeah, it is what it is.
And how much of an asset is it to have a guy like Bibiano Fernandez that you train with on a regular basis? So I don't think he gets a lot of credit for some of the stuff he's been helping you out with.
Yeah, Bibiano Fernandez is amazing. And it's not just Bibiano Fernandez. It's Matt Hume, it's Brad Kurtzen, it's the guys we have in the gym who aren't known in the world. Not everybody that I train with is in. Well, honestly, nobody I train with is in the UFC. But does not mean they don't have the skill set to be in the UFC. There's other things that come first called life, and when you become a professional mixed martial artist, you're not blowing the bank up. So, but yeah, it's huge. Bibiano, he's another top tier guy who's been around for a long time. He's been doing jiu-jitsu, and the first time he ever came train with me, he would tap me out like 8 times, 15 times, and another year go by, it'll be 8 times. Next year, 2 years, 6 times. Now when we grapple, he goes, my friend, your jiu-jitsu, it's on a whole nother level. He goes, it's good, my friend. It's very good. So it's good to be able to train with another champion from a different organization to help me get ready for my fights, and it goes back and forth.
Is there any part of you that sees Dominic Cruz now as a champion that maybe wants to get back in there and fight him again, like in some sort of super fight?
If the number's right. Everybody's like, oh man, I saw you and Dominic Cruz chopping it up. I was like, we're negotiating money. That's what we're talking about. So I think Dominic Cruz is always on board to fight. He's got another matchup going on. I got my match against Hiroshima going on. But if the stars align right and it makes sense for me, then yeah, I'll do it. But right now I'm focused on trying to break that record from Anderson Silva, and then we'll go from there.
What were your thoughts sitting next, in between Rockhold and Cormier as these guys are yelling and going back and forth? You're just kind of looking around like, geez, do you expect these two to go at it like that?
Who? Oh, the others, AKA versus East Coast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's part of the game. Like someone in the back, he goes, they all acting the fucking fool up there. He goes, they trying to jump on that Conor McGregor money. They all acting the fool. So it was fun. I just sat there and relaxed and just enjoyed it. I mean, it's not the first time I've been in a press conference that big. Showtime, that press conference when I fought Kyojo Horiguchi. It was the exact same thing. Yeah, it was just fun. I just laughed. I said, you guys know you guys are adults, right? Like, you guys don't need to argue with each other, okay? Just whatever. So, it was fun.
Do you see that as kind of the Conor McGregor influence on how it wasn't just those 4 guys, but a lot of them were going after each other?
Yeah, but it's true beef. It's true beef. Like, it's true animosity. They don't like each other. Like, Chris Weidman goes, man, fuck your whole camp. All they do is talk shit. That's all you do is talk shit. So it's true animosity, It just makes me, it's funny when you see somebody goes, oh, well, this guy, I don't like him, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you're just saying that because it's not true. It's just, so that's why I love the fact of how I go about doing things. And people are like, oh, man, you're stupid, you miss a beat. And I was like, dude, I'm keeping it real. Like, when Dutcher was like, oh, what's the point? You know, I flew you across the ring, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. They came to fight, got in that ass. You know, his face was swollen up. And after the fight was done, I was like, hey, man, good job. Even though you talk shit about me, you're all good. Ian McCall, when he got worked by John Lineker, he's walking along, and I was like, hey. Good fight, my friend. Hey, you want to talk shit about me? You're still cool. I just don't. I mean, I just don't want to pass that type of lifestyle onto my kids, and so I try to be a great role model. Am I shooting the foot, you know, later in life? But I'm okay with that.
Do you feel like in any respects that when people do try to up the ante with the trash talk, that it brings a bad look on the sport when you have somebody like Conor McGregor who is drawing so many new eyes to
I mean,
the sport?
I guess you can say it. Like, if my son was to watch the Fox Sports 1 when him and Nate Diaz were going back and forth, I mean, this is 2016. I mean, you can watch, you know, all types of stuff on TV now. And if I was to be like, this is a great representation of the sport, like how they're going back and forth on Fox Sports 1, absolutely not when I have my kids watch it. I'm an adult, so I love the back and forth, how they're going, and the stuff he threw out was a genius, you know, we'll never cross that river again. And it's like, well, yeah, of course, a gazelle, they try to cross the river, and the alligator brings him in, and all the gazelle watch the alligator get drowned, and goes, yeah, we ain't going this guy, we're going to go upstream and try to go that route. So it makes sense, but at the same time, that's what the world wants. They want drama, they love that, so it was good stuff.
So you wouldn't have your kids watch the presidential debates either?
I don't know about that, because it ain't beep, 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 beep. I buried 4 men in desert. Like, Dad, he killed 4 men. He's making all this money. How can I do that? So there was a little difference here. You know, Donald Trump's just talking about his penis being big and all that stuff. So 2 different things.
DJ, you got a chance to play the UFC game. There were some guys that were complaining about your rating. What were your thoughts on yours?
What, on my ratings? Yep. They're great. They're great. I mean, it's a video game, and with that game, it's awesome. They did a real good job this year on this game than they did last year. But I think everybody should be happy that they're in the damn game.